Hi Yunguseng. This is the second lecture of the 13th season. Hello, good evening. I hope you had a nice weekend. This time the lesson topic is the history of Fuseki. Before I make this lesson topic, I hesitate a lot because basically this history of Fuseki is not about your strength, not technical strength. It is more like cultural strength. I wasn't sure that whether it is a interesting topic because most of you are interested in improving your strengths. But I believe to improve your cultural background of this Go game, I'm sure that this will make you interested in this game more. Basically, the concept of this, why it is cool, is for make you enjoy this game more. So you can put more of your time to enjoy this game. So that's why I choose this topic. Before that, I was thinking to make the lecture of one Go player like Jo Chi-gun or Lee Changho, like legendary players, or Go Se-gen maybe. So I was checking their games to make just one specific player to check their style of play and their life. But after checking many of professionals, I found that most of them, they really prefer one Fuseki and they are related with the Fuseki story. So I found this and then try to make this lecture. Okay, what is Fuseki? What is concept of Fuseki? Fuseki does not mean that you just put the stone in the opening stage up to 30 or 50 moves. There should be a theory or sometimes philosophy in it. Let's check this game. It is a game in the 6th century. Let's check it. You should know that in China, they put 4 stones on the board and start the game. In Korea and in Japan also, they played in this way. Japan started playing without putting that 4 stones on the board from around 1300, about 14th century. So until then, they played in this way. Put 4 stones on the stop point, each corner, and then play. Okay, let's check it. This is about 1,500 years ago game. Okay, like this. So that is. How do you feel after having this 1,500 years ago Fuseki? That is one game. Awful. It is like just sharing the goban, is it? Sharing the place with 1 space, 2 space extension. There were so many of this 1 space 2 extensions came and large knight move, is it? This large knight move here and here. So we cannot see the theory here. It is just, putting the stones near third lines to share for making middle game fight, like that. And then after about 1,100 years, it is the game in 17th century. It is the game of the first Honinbo. You know Honinbo? Honinbo is the Go family, which was the most famous Go family about 400 years in Japan. So let's see this game. Again, 2 space extension, and then again 2 space extension. So like this. This is the best player's game. Only third line. That is very important too. Even this one, we should focus on this R8. They didn't treat the 4th line as the line that they can make the territory. So play only on the 3rd line. This one at least white should play here. Is it? And in modern Go, white could play this jump. and fight if black comes in. But they played in this way. That was the game. No pressure, is it? Black just, take 3-3, not attached to this white 1 stone. Like this. So I feel, after checking many of these old games, I felt that there was no soul in it. It is just, Fuseki, that they just share the territory under the third line before they fight in the middle game stage. There are 2 types of games. One is like that, just sharing the side like this, or fight from the beginning. Just empties the corners and then fight from each local. That two were the Fuseki of until the 17th century. However, when did the Fuseki, the concept of Fuseki started? It came from the legendary guy, about 350 years ago. It started from Honinbo Dosaku. You heard that name, is it? Once we made a lecture about his heritage, is it? This one. Black approaches here. Why this Honinbo Dosaku? They played this game at 1683, November, against Yasui Junchi. White approaches this, and then Dosaku played this 3-space low pincer. Before him, only 1 space or 2 space low pincer has been played. They didn't play any other. They didn't even play the 4th line pincer. Only 3rd line, 1 space low pincer or 2 space low pincer. And then Dosaku start playing the 3-space low pincer. And then many people ask, why you play that select move? It doesn't give any pressure to this black's 1 stone A. And then he said that I didn't play this move only for A to B, but I played here for B to C. So he started increasing the lines. He didn't only think about one corner. He thought about another side or another effect. So from him, we start the concept of Fuseki. Before that, it wasn't the Fuseki. We cannot call that. It was just, playing in the opening stage up to like 30-50 moves to share under the third lines. Let's see some other games. It is his game against Inoue Inseki in the same year, 1683. Why play this one? And then the next move. Where would you play if you are white? In the past time, you can see the last his black's move. Black extend to C9. He could extend more, but only that 3 spaces. Yes, around R9, R10, R11, you have much better idea than any other best players in Japan around 1683. Only Dosaku. He played this one. That was very sensational move. It is kind of, Chinese, sort of Chinese opening, but they didn't thought about this, think about this concept. Instead of this one, they always play like that. If I would like to protect the corner, I protect the corner. That's it. This is the way that how they can protect the corner. But he played this one. And his opponent thought that he empties the corner. He opens the corner. So they invade directly. In modern Go, maybe Black won't invade. Black would play elsewhere because Goban is still white. But at this time, when you see Dosaku's game, when he plays in this kind of way, his opponent nearly all the time invade directly because they didn't treat this as close or enclosure. It is definitely not an enclosure, but Dosaku knew that if his opponent comes in, he can answer, and in this position, this A becomes shiny. He thought about this concept. He made the better situation and let his opponent invade and start fighting in his advantaged area. Can you understand this idea? It's like make a camp and let opponent invade and start fight in advantaged area. Like spider, make a web, and then when insect comes and then they fight in their home ground. So they can make the better fight. So what can black do? Black can only extend one space like that, and white jumps to increase the lower side and keep giving the pressure. After this, he exchanged this and then exchange this A, B to make C. After play C, this D and E really helps, is it? Yes, it was new. No one thought about this idea. If they want to protect the corner, they just protect the corner in this way, like this. Just protect. And black comes in and then fight, like that. But he played this kind of big framework idea. This is Fuseki, I can tell. This is another his game. He played against Hoshiai Haseki. Okay, let's see. After that, how do you extend that white one stone? How would you save? We checked many of 6th century, 17th century before Dosaku's game that just extend here, is it? Or maybe this one. But unfortunately, he didn't have that idea. To play on the fourth line was not the right move at that period. Instead, he played this one. To extend 4 space, it is impossible. It was impossible at the time, but he did it. He did play and he won many games. So he proves that it is better. Okay. So after this one, you see that he doesn't care much about this A to B, but he cared about B and C. And this B and C became the spider's web. And this become white's camp. So it is more difficult for black to come in. Okay. So that was his game. He made very big formation and let opponent come in and fight from it. Okay. This is the last game that we should check. This one. That mini Chinese opening. We believe that mini Chinese opening came after 1980s, but I found this game that he played at 1682. Okay. He played this one already in order to make a good connection between A to B and B to C. So this was a Fuseki. The idea of Fuseki came from Dosaku. So many people believe that Shusaku is the most, the biggest legendary Go player. But I believe Dosaku is the guy who really make the Go ban wider to the right and left. He didn't move to the fourth line. He didn't go up to the middle, but he increased the lines. After him, we feel now that they played 19 lines game. Before his games, I feel that it was like 17 or 15 lines game. Only extend 2 spaces, no pressure, just, be okay. Opponent also be okay, just okay. But he made this. As you can see, his opponent comes in. And then he started this fight. And after black comes in, white played this diagonal move. You see that white start the better fight in each locker, is it? This A locker, it was good fight for white, and B locker also good fight for white. So their opponent go crazy that he didn't even block the corner, but after I came in, always I start very bad fight. So this was really, the concept that no one else thought about it at the time. So he is a genius. Okay, so this is the game of Sansa, Honinbo Sansa. Do you know Honinbo Sansa? There are so many Honinbo. Okay. Honinbo Sansa is the first guy of this Honinbo family. He created this Honinbo family. It is his game. Now White's turn. Where would you play? If it is your game, okay, White, N12, N12. Attach here to cut. Okay, very aggressive. Maybe possible, but it would be difficult. To cut is not working because White's group is weak. So let's see. C10, D11, C10 around C10 and C11. Yeah, like that. So why do you guys want to play there? Why ABC? What is the meaning of this one? It is very simple, is it, nowadays? You would like to use this Y's influence, is it? That influence, if you extend like that, then you can make the connection with the left side, is it? This is common concept. It became common concept because of the opening theory lectures, right? I believe. Okay. So this is the basic theory nowadays. But the Meijin, he was the best player at the time, around 15th century. Honinbo Sansa played here. This was his move. We can understand. Why played here? Why? Because why treat this game of Go, as local fight. He played that one in order to make a good fight in that local. Okay. So this was the idea. If White plays like that, then Black would play here. So that should be good for Black because White cannot use this influence very much. So you can see that if you take the time machine to go to the 15th century Japan, then I'm sure that you guys can become the best player. Everybody will go crazy that you play in that so cool way. Okay, let's move to the next person. So Dosaku made the concept of Fuseki. And then the next guy is Shusaku. You know the Shusaku, is it? He is a D Shusaku. He made this Shusaku's move, Shusaku's opening. This diagonal move, what is this one stone look for? What is the meaning of this diagonal move? We already have checked that one of Honinbo's Dosaku's opponent played this move. It exists already. That diagonal move, before the Shusaku it exists. But why this Shusaku's diagonal move is much more famous? He didn't even create this one. But especially in this position, he played there. Because at that period, in this kind of situation, people always play these pincers. Pincer, pincer, or pincer, like that. Like this. But he played this diagonal move. It is because Black would like to look for this A and B as miai. Shusaku is a genius because he knew the concept of miai in the opening stage. There is an interesting story. When he finishes his game, after some days or months, many of people ask to him that, did you win the game? Did you play a good game like this? Do you know how he answered in that questions? He said that, yes, I was Black. Did you win the game? I was Black. Why do you ask? I was Black. Of course I won. Like this. So he says that he believes that Black he cannot lose the game. Because at the time there was no komi, and he believes that to play first move, he won't lose that advantage if he plays in this way to check this miai. Okay, so here. There was something about this. Okay, good. Could he win as Black against a modern pro? It is impossible. I'm sure that he should put, if he just come back and in next day he play against Lee Sedol, just next day, and he doesn't train himself, just play, I think it is more than 2 stones. Impossible to win the game, of course. But if he trains with that genius brain, go brain, maybe he can win. But just next day, if just that guy play against that Lee Sedol, it is impossible. I don't know. I don't know. Because as you can see, there's no fourth line. Is it? There's no fourth line in that games. There was no concept of playing over the fourth line in the opening stage. So it is just totally another game they played. Okay, hard to compare, yes. So here you can see that it is the game of Honinbo Shusaku, and he played the game like this. This diagonal move is looking for A to cover or attack like this in a better position and play around C. Okay, instead of this one, at that time, people play this jump or attach to fight directly. But he played in this way. And he won the game. Okay. So I would say Dosaku made the concept of Fuseki and Shusaku polished it after 150 years ago. So the Go become, the level, the average level of Go players become much stronger. And then, who is the next guy? You guess. The next guy is Goseigen. If the Dosaku, he increased the Goban from 15 lines or 17 lines to 19 lines, left to right. He extend the Goban on the side. But he is the guy who increase the Goban to the middle. Okay. This is the game he play against Honinbo Shusai. Honinbo Shusai is the last Honinbo. After this time, Honinbo gave their title to the newspaper company. So since then, there was no Honinbo. If there's Honinbo title in Japan, it is the 3 biggest title in Japan. And if someone wins more than 5 times in a row the Honinbo title, 5 years, then they give this Honinbo title. Who's the last Honinbo? Then he is the Honinbo. Honinbo Shusai is the last Honinbo, but nowadays the last guy who won the Honinbo title 5 times in a row, yes, Jochigun. So Honinbo Chikun is the last Honinbo. So the meaning of this Honinbo change it because he is not from Honinbo family. But if someone wins 5 times in a row the Honinbo title, they give this as honor. Okay, Honinbo Chikun is the last Honinbo. But anyway, Honinbo Shusai is again the legendary guy. He also played well. And when he was 51 years old, at that time, 51 years old was, very old, the person at the time. And Goseigen was 21 years old. And you see the game. He was black. He played the first star point. In fact, that star point came, professional players played this as just experimental move. But they didn't really play this with big meaning, but they did it. And then, this was the 5th move. This is the legendary game that you must know as a Go player. He played 3-3, which wasn't really played much. It's like untold rule. The untold rule that nobody says, but you shouldn't do. At the time, 3-3 was like untold rule that you shouldn't play. And also star point. And also Tengen. Tengen, people even didn't think about it. But he played it. Fopop was not popular at all. No one played it. But he played that three, that, the move what the, professional players shouldn't play. He played three moves in a row against the Di Honinbo. Honinbo was the guy that you should, give him the respect all the time, but play these three moves. So I'm sure that Shusai got, shocked that they Koseigen, 21 years old young boy, play this, very, aggressive opening. Yes, like a slap in face, is it? Just believe that one of Yunguseng members is like 3 dan on, KGS, and then he won all games in the World Championship match, and in the final face to Lee Sedol, and then play this one. Yeah, recently I saw this, how do you say this? What kind of opening is this? I forgot the name. Black hole opening, yes. Let's believe that one little KG 3 dan just won many games and faced to Lee Sedol in the World Championship final title match and play like that. And I don't feel that Lee Sedol feel good with that, because it is not totally new, but let's say no one played it before and play like that. I don't know much about it, so let's keep it. So you see that this was really sensational opening. And even after that, as you can see, Shusai plays in a very calm way, and Black kept playing on the 4th line to play 5th line. And after White come closer, Black played this one. This is a experimental game. In the title match, this was the title match that if you win the game, you can get a lot of profit and also honor. But he played this kind of game. It was really sensational game, and it was very rude. So the Goseigen is basically from China, and at that time China and Japan made a war. So it was during the war. So there was one story that during this game, this game was played about 3 months. It stops 14 times by Shusai. So when you play the games, sometimes your opponent says that I don't want to play. So okay, let's stop, and I will tell you when we will start again. He played in this way. So it was very unfair game. He stopped 14 times, and that's why this game played for 3 months. So during that period, some people throw the stones to Goseigen's house. How rude you are that you play against Honinbo, the Meijin, to play in that way, like this. I'm not sure whether he discussed it, but his student probably discussed about this and could tell him there's no official kind of paper which says that, but we assume that there was some study. Anyway, it was unfair. This game, Goseigen couldn't win the game. Honinbo Shusai won 2 points, but this became a big step. It is like, the human went to the moon. It was totally different land. Okay. Anyway, after that, after this game, Goseigen studied a lot of this kind of new style of Fuseki with Kitani Minoru. Kitani Minoru is the guy who is more famous as Go teacher, because he's the Go teacher of Kobayashi Goichi, Takemiya Masaki, and many other, Kato Masao or Jochigun, or many other, Oda Keita, and anyone who the Japanese player's name. He was the teacher of that all players. Anyway, he is also very strong, and he is the guy who made this new Fuseki with Goseigen. But many people knows that Goseigen made it. But Goseigen and Kitani Minoru, they both made this what is it, new opening. Okay, you see that it is Kitani's move. He played against Goseigen at 1934. He played that moves. This was really big experimental game, is it? Even in nowadays, no one play in this way. But the best two players studied each other together and play this kind of opening. Very weird, is it? Yeah, like that. And I brought some of more games that they played in this way too. Okay, it is not 3-star formation, but sort of. And white divided with 5th line. So no one played 4th line. So play just on the 4th line was already very bizarre, weird. But they played the move in the space. Everybody just think about the Earth, but they went to the another planet and played Go like this. So it was very, experimental game, is it? You see that it is the. Do you know this pattern? It is called Goseigen pattern. I studied this as Goseigen pattern. I didn't feel much about it. But after I check the story, I got to know that how important this pattern is. Because before Goseigen, no one played this 2-space high pincer. Always 1-space low pincer or 2-space or 3-space low pincers. But he started playing pincers with the 4th line. And even after this one, he played the move on the 5th line. Okay. So this is Goseigen pattern. This is one of the longest pattern. So let me tell you, this is still the part of pattern. This one after here, y should extend. Have you seen this pattern? Not at all? Okay. Here, capture, going down, extend, like this. This is Goseigen's pattern. You see that y played this one, is it? And gave this big corner, but instead y takes this big outside. So when he, played many of experimental moves, he even thought about this, that he played on the 3rd line in a 3-4 point and then start playing for the 5th line. It is, I'm not sure, because I haven't seen this game in pros game, but until like late 90s, it was a pattern that it appears in pros game. Okay, so it was a possible pattern. Now, after these experimental games that he played many moves on the 5th line or 6th line, 7th line like that, later he came back. Goseigen never played this kind of style again, but what he left as outcome was that stop point became the same value as 3-4 point. Stop point was not the right move. If someone plays stop point, then the other says that, okay, it is not really a good move. It didn't even protect the corner, so you shouldn't play. That was the right theory at the time, because over the 4th line wasn't really important. They need to protect under the 3rd line, and for that, corner was the most important area. That's why 4-4, that stop point wasn't the right move. But he made this as equal move as 3-4 point. So that is what Goseigen made. So we see that, the Dosaku, he increased the line from A to B. Is it? A to B. So he increased the line to the right and left. And then the Goseigen, he made this A to C. He increased the lines from 3rd line to 4th line. So that too are legendary dice. He made the base of this Fuseki concept. after Goseigen, around 1960s, this was one of the most popular pattern. Before Goseigen, many people played the diagonal opening because they should fight. Okay? At the time, they should just fight the game. They didn't treat this opening as the position that they make some advantage area. They just fight. So that's why they played many of diagonal openings. But this one and the other one, as many of us know this as 135 opening. This 135 opening left as outcome. So 3-4 point and stop point was equal at the time. Okay. Anyway, this was very famous pattern at 1960s in Japan. Okay. And then, what is the next one? There was a friendship match between Japan and China at 1965. And in 1965, the Chinese best player, Chen Juda, he joined in this match. And at the time, Japan was way stronger than China. So I suppose that China played with only half komi, not 5.5, but 3.5 or 2.5, like this. Okay. Anyway, in that matches, all Chinese players, the 3 Chinese players, they play this opening. Okay, that one. It is the game between Sakai Michiharu and Chen Juda's game in 1965, July. Okay, he played this one, and another Chinese players also played in this way. So it was very sensational at the time because to protect the corner, this was the right move at the time. They didn't think about this idea. In fact, the Tosaku already thought about this one and he played it. But the modern players at the time, they didn't play in this way. So that's why when Chinese players, they played this opening, the journalist, they say that it is Chinese opening because they played it. But in fact, Japanese people like Tosaku, they already have played this opening. How did White handle this one? Let me show you one of the game that Chen Juda, he came again to Japan at 1973 and he played with Fujisawa Shuko. This is the game against Fujisawa Shuko and he played. I remember that Fujisawa just played in this way at the time. But the other one, it is the game against Sakada Eio, and here. After Black plays this one, where did White play, you guess? Where should White play in general, nowadays, with the modern theory? White should just approach there, or locally approach like that. But Sakada played here. This was the reaction from Chinese opening. Sakada played in this way. And Sakada won this game by 4 points. Okay. Anyway, we can see that there was no the theory that how to react from this Chinese opening. Anyway, this became very famous at the time among Japanese players. And there's one guy who played the Chinese opening pretty often and made the very good result. Who is this guy? This Chinese opening. Kato Masao. It is Jochigun. Jochigun is famous with 3-3, but in fact, he played many of this Chinese opening in his title match, and he won many games. So, Jochigun has 2 golden time. The first golden time was 1980s to 1985. In that 5 years, he won Kisei, Meijin, and Honinbo, the big 3 title. It is biggest effort as a Go player ever at the time. But he got accident. He got a car accident the nearly end of 1985. So he got a big accident. So that's why he lost all his title to Kobayashi Goichi. And then after that, after like 5 to 7 years, he got his second gold time. So that's why we called him Phoenix. That, normally after the golden time, you cannot recover. But he came back and got this, 5 times in a row. He take the big title 5 years in a row, which was very big effort. Anyway, he was the guy who played this Chinese opening a lot and made a good result. It is his game against Odake Hideo. Odake Hideo is one another legendary guy, is it? That he played against Odake in Meijin title. Meijin title match is now second biggest title, and first is Kisei, is it? Many of you know this, but Kisei, in fact, it made after 1980s. So before Kisei, Meijin was the biggest title. That's why Jochigun said that if someone says that, will you come back to Korea after you become stronger? And he said that I won't go back to Korea before I get the Meijin title. That's why Meijin title was the title that every Go players would like to take. And he got that Meijin title 5 times in a row, which is very big effort. In that 5 times of his winning, one guy tried to take over. 4 times he is Odake Hideo. In that 5 years, 4 times he got Odake Hideo as the challenger, and he never won against Jochigun. And every time when he came up, 1980s to 1981, 2 and 84, Jochigun played this Chinese opening. He didn't play this Chinese opening all the time, but in every series, in every year, when he faced to Odake, he played this one, and he won all his games. Okay, so that's why Chinese opening and Jochigun, there is a big connection. So this Chinese opening was the most popular one, but as I explained before, Jochigun got the big car accident, and that's why he played the wheelchair game. Is it? He played against Kobayashi Goichi as wheelchair game, and he lost that title. So since then, Kobayashi Goichi became the best player. And still, this opening is very famous, and many people like to play. Is it? Like me. I really like this Kobayashi opening. We know this Kobayashi opening as just Kobayashi opening, is it? There are many opening formations, but there's no opening formation with Go player's name. So Kobayashi should be very proud of himself that it is the only one, is it? There's Kuri's opening or some others, Changho Pattern like that, but this Kobayashi opening is the most famous opening with the person's name. So he played this Kobayashi opening, and he didn't play this much, that one. He could play, but this one he played more often. And then he took these 2 corners, 2 sides like that, under the third line territory. And this one, he also played this move, but didn't push like that to make the big influence. Instead, he played this one, and that one also, one of the most often played opening what Kobayashi Goichi played. As you can see, there are the 2 big sides, and it is very solid territory. Kobayashi, his nickname is what is it? The Metro, is it? His Metro, because he played many moves under the third line to gain the guaranteed point. And there was one another Go player who is against in this metro style of play. Who is he? Maybe he is more famous than Kobayashi. Yeah, he is Takemiya. So Takemiya played this, cosmic style of play. It is his game that he played against Ishida Yoshio. Okay, that one. You can see that very big style that Takemiya played. So Takemiya and Kobayashi, they studied together in Kitani's Go School, Go Academy. Kitani Minoru, who made the new Fuseki with Go Seigen. And already at the time when they were young, they fight, not physically fight, but they fight each other and they blame each other that your goal is like metro. That is really, just go under the third line. And Kobayashi says to Takemiya that your goal style doesn't have any profit. It is just putting the stone in the middle. There's nothing and there's no meaning in it. So they fight each other. But anyway, they both become the legendary player. Okay, but Kobayashi opening, it was very famous that other players, professional players played a lot, and also amateur players played a lot. So this become popular. But Takemiya's three-star formation. Three-star formation is in fact very popular, but his style of play, like play this 4 stars formation and only play for the middle. This is quite difficult way of playing, is it? Only Takemiya has his own idea, that his very special concept. So he can play this kind of opening well, but other players, other professional players didn't know how to handle it well. That's why this couldn't become the popular opening. It is just famous because many of amateur players, they really like this kind of play and also like his personality as well, because he's a very cool guy. So that's why it is very famous. But I cannot say that this was fashionable. Mm-hmm. Great dancer, I hope that he is good at tango, is it? Okay. Anyway, after this Chinese opening, Kobayashi opening, and 3-star formation, what next? We passed 1980s. Until 1980s and 90s, it was famous. And then, this mini Chinese opening. Who made this mini Chinese opening? If you know, then please tell me, because I couldn't find it. Maybe these Chinese players, they started together. Dosaku. Right, he already played, right? Maybe Dosaku. Mm-hmm. We know, is it? Okay, but I don't know who made this popular. But when I studied Go around 95 to 2005, at that period, it was one of the most popular opening formations, especially after here, this night move. Just night move, or peep and night move, or peep and attach, or peep and attach here. There are so many different types, or come from the other position and maybe attach here, or this shoulder hit. So many variations that professional players they made. This is mini Chinese opening. It started from middle of 1990s to nowadays. It is still one of the most popular opening formation. And then, up to now, I only mentioned about Japanese Go world, because Japan was the most, strongest country, Go country at the time. But 1990s, it changed it. It changed it to Korea, is it? Because 1988, the In Cup, first In Cup made, and there was how was it? 32, top 32 players were invited. And how many tickets does Korea have at the time? In modern World Championship, when they make the World Championship, then a lot of Chinese players, Japanese players, and Korea players, and then one Europe and one America or something like that. So Fan Hui played this World Championship a lot, and before that Alexandro Dinostein played a lot, and many of others like Fernando Aguilar and Taranu Katarin like this. And at the time, Korea got only one ticket. So that one ticket was taken by Cho Hun-hyun because he was the best player in Korea. And he won that championship. The Chinese people, they believed that Nie Wei-peng would become the winner because it is Chinese money, is it? It came from China, and they played games in China, and Nie Wei-peng was the best player at the time. But Cho Hun-hyun won that title. So Cho Hun-hyun, he got all 16 titles of Korea around beginning of 90s. Korea had 16 national titles, and he got all. It is impossible to get 16 titles, all the titles. But after 1990, just right after 1990, he lost many to his student. He is Lee Changho, is it? So this is the match what they played. They played many of these star points. It is called Cho and Lee's 2 stars formation. Not 3-star formation, 2 stars formation. They played many of other games as well, the 3-4 point games, but this particularly came pretty often. Approach, answer, and approach, pincer to come into the corner. This they played a lot. I checked that they played about 60 title matches around 10 years period from 1990s to 2000. 60 title matches, 59. And it was about 250 games they played. 250 games for only that 2 players. That was quite a lot. And I said Cho Hun-hyun had 16 titles, all the titles. But about 3 years after, Lee Chang-ho got everything. So Cho Hun-hyun got nothing after 3 years. So he really got, one student. He didn't get any other student, but one student, Lee Chang-ho, takes all the title from Cho Hun-hyun. Okay. He was a good teacher, yes. At the time, I was the Go kid. So I played Go, and I treat Cho Hun-hyun as, one legendary Go player, of course. And I felt that maybe he didn't feel bad because he didn't lose his title against not someone else, but his student. So why not? Maybe he feels okay with that. But about 5-10 years ago, he made a lot of interviews with the mass comm, journalist, and he said that it was really, really hardest time of his life. He felt that he lost everything, his career and honor and everything. So he really felt that it was really, difficult to handle. But many of Korean players believed that he felt maybe happy, but totally not. Anyway, they played this 2 stars formation a lot, and therefore they made a lot of new patterns. This pattern. It is called Lee Chang-ho pattern. Do you know this? Japanese players, they didn't play this kind of move because it is bad shape. it is bad shape, so they didn't even look this kind of variation. But Li Changho thought that, okay, black has a lot of point in the corner, so why not? And he played it. And this pattern, attach, at that period, they played a lot and made many of development of this pattern. And also this one. It is like a, Hegelian dialectic, this one, thesis, antithesis, and then, thin thesis, something like that. That they played 250 games and, improved a lot themselves. That is the reason we believe that Korea become the best strongest Go country around that time, because they, fight each other. Therefore, they, developed their strengths a lot. Okay. Anyway, this is the game what they played at 1991. It is called Kobayashi Opening. It is Kobayashi Opening Volume 2 that we studied, is it? In normal Kobayashi Opening, white extend, and then black comes like that, or maybe come from the other direction, is it? And this one, we studied this, is it? Here, or this one. This attach came pretty often in between these two players, because they played this a lot. And at some point, maybe, the Li Changho didn't feel that it is okay, because he need to give this knight move to black. So that's why he made this attach and block. He tried to block this corner, but he didn't think about attach and jump, which is possible nowadays. But at the time it was, very bad shape. So it is the one that you shouldn't play. Okay, if one, what my Go teacher says that move is the only move that you don't have to, or you should not play, then I would say that he would say this is the move. So that one he didn't play, but instead he made this attach and block, and therefore he protect this corner. Okay, that is the reason why this pattern made. Okay, from this Kobayashi Opening. Okay, after this two-star formation, it is about 1990s to 2000. After 2000, this came. It is, the micro Chinese opening. I heard that it is come from the Chinese player Liu Xing. He is not a strong player. That's why it is not a Liu Xing opening. But there is one theory that he started playing this one here, or just this one. So it is very popular nowadays. So I would say this is one of the most popular opening nowadays. But I think it is not as famous as mini Chinese opening. It's been played a lot, but really not really studied a lot by players. Micro Chinese opening recently. Okay, maybe this is the fashion that it comes again. And this one, it is high Chinese opening. Nowadays, when the new opening comes, they change a little bit, just a little bit from the old ones. So here, if white approaches like that, how would you defend it? Black should defend. Black could play pincer, but if black defended, yes, R5, is it? Why they play in this way? Why not like a normal one? And here, and then here. Black played this a lot in the past, but why not like that nowadays? They believe that this exchange, that position, white can invade to A and B. All this A, B are possible to invade. But if it is like that, to invade A is difficult. B is still possible. But, B, still black can handle. But A, difficult for white to come in. So that's why professional players, they believe that it is feel better than the other one. So that's why nowadays this high Chinese opening comes more. And this one, 1-3-5 opening, and after white divide, Kuri played in his way. What is Kuri's opening? We studied this one in the 1-3-5 opening, is it? Yes, black approaches once and then come from the other direction. This was also a sensational move because it is, just no doubt. Of course, black should come from this direction because black has these two stones in this area. So black should, of course, extend from that strength to make this stronger. But he thought just in opposite way. Okay, why not come from the other direction and make this good shape? Okay. This is Kuri's opening. Around 2008, Kuri won many of world championship, world titles. And at that time, he played this a lot. And then, the professional players, they studied a lot from that period, around 2005 or a bit later than that. Professional players, they start studying together. So in that period, many of openings and patterns developed a lot. And in that, study group, the best players, they study together like this. In that study group, they made the decision that this is already good for black. So no chance like this. Of course it is not. Of course it is not the game over. But the professional's point of view, they felt that it is too good position for black. That's why they changed it. Instead of dividing here, approaches like that. After approach, many of 2009 to 11 games, if you just open the database of professional players and put this two-space slow pincer, then you will see a lot of games made by top pros that they played this two-space slow pincer at that period. Okay. This was very popular. The meaning is very simple. One-space low pincer was the right move that many professionals played before, but they didn't like it because after play this pincer, white can later play this shoulder hit. Then after shoulder hit, black should push twice and knight move. Then this become very narrow. It's like over-concentrated shape. So that's why they thought about this two-space low pincer. If it is two-space, then after white played elsewhere, when black played this one, black played elsewhere, white comes, then black can play same move, but we can see the difference. This distance is quite okay, but the other distance, it is over-concentrated. So that's why this two-space low pincer came. And then, instead of just coming into the 3-3, white plays with this counter pincer and this. I'm sure that if you are stronger than Dan player, you have seen many of professionals' games. Therefore, you know about this shape. Okay. This came quite a lot, around 2009 to 2011-12, around that period. 2009 was the year that I came from, retired from the army. I was in the Korean army for 2 years. It is duty that I have to go. After that 2 years, I felt that I become much weaker because I haven't played any of games, the real games at that period. So before I come back to Europe, I went to my go school that I studied when I was young and played with many professionals and strong inseis, strong Yunguseng members. At the period, I studied this a lot because it was the main topic when they start studying together, they discussed about this shape. But everything what I studied at the time is not really useful, because that variation no one plays anymore. Because after like 2 years, they changed it and developed a lot. So nowadays they played in a different shape. Instead of this one, black normally extend nowadays, and this is the ending shape. This fashion was over. Nowadays, not many professional players played in this way. So, professional players, they don't take this out again. So they play in a different way. But anyway, at the end, they finish the shape with this very simple shape. It is just okay for both. So nowadays, what is the most often played? What is the most popular pattern? Opening formation. It is this one, not Q11. They just answer. Just answer, and then white play knight move, and approach once. And play this one, pincer. White plays diagonal move to corner, then black attaches and hane. I'm sure that you have seen this pattern a lot. Who played this opening very often? White plays this pincer, black plays this one. Instead of this one, black could extend like this. But this is not really a good idea. Why is that? If I extend, why bet? It looks pretty good shape, wing formation. But it is not a good move, because white can play this one. That is ladder breaker. Block, and then white can go out. So this ladder is working for white. So after this one, black should come back anyway, then white can block. So it is like white extend, and then black attach and white extend. So bad exchange. Is it? So instead of this extension or the other extension, black just take the right side. Okay, so this is one of the most often played, popular the pattern, and this played a lot by top players. Who's the top player in present day? Lee Sedol? He is not. He is strongest player, of course, but there is a ranking. And by the ranking, Park Jung-hwan is the best one. And second is Kim Ji-seok. So they are a bit younger than Lee Sedol, like 5 years younger, and they have less titles, but by ranking, they are the best. Okay, so anyway, in that two players game, if you take a look, they play this a lot. And one professional player asked to Kim Ji-seok that why he preferred this opening very much. And he said that he is the type of player that which fights a lot. He fights really a lot, and he is good at fight. So for that, he would like to make the strength, the thickness before he start fight. So that's why he liked this opening as black. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, this is one of the most often played one. It came from this 135 opening that Guri start playing this one. That's why professional players, they try to protect this idea. That's why I approached it. So after approach, black played pincer to increase the right side. So after like 5 years, they become, tired, and they just don't want to play this anymore. Just fashion change it. So black played this, and then approach here to play this pincer. Okay. So white comes in, black attaches to take outside. And then white should play this pincer because this upper side is quite, big. And then black defend this ladder breaker before I use it. Okay. So that is the most often played one. So from 1980s, okay, we should check the concept of new Fuseki. This is 1960, what is it, 70s one, Chinese opening. Chinese opening is different than the former the opening formation, because before that they played like this here, or 1-3-5 opening, make the what is it, corner as the secured territory and then start fight. But instead of this one, Chinese opening made this kind of camp, like spider's web, and let opponent invade and start fighting from that area. Okay. And then you know this one, Kobayashi opening, it also made this, place, this home ground, and then fight. This Chinese opening, not this one, this mini Chinese opening also played in that way. Is it? Made this formation and let opponent come in and fight. So like that. And the Korean one also make this formation and let white come in to fight. So in modern Go, black makes this kind of big scale game. Why is that? I mean, why not just focus on corner? Just play 4 stones in the corner like this, and then why not just play for small game? Just taking, like approach, then okay, why not play like that? Black may play in this way. Yes, because of the komi. Komi is increasing, is it? It was 4.5, but become 5.5, 6.5, and then 7.5 in China. And many of Chinese World Championship, they make this 7.5 komi. So after having more of this komi, the black need to earn more in the opening stage to the middle game stage. That's why this big scale opening came in modern Go. So I think if the new fashionable opening comes, this also will come with this big scale game. Black should play with this kind of big scale game in order to gain that 6.5 or 7.5 point komi. So that is the reason why black uses this big scale opening. Okay. So like that, we studied this history of Fuseki from Dosaku to Korean days most popular opening. So how do you feel? How do you think that Fuseki will change? I don't think that it will change much like that. There is old Fuseki, and that Fuseki will be changed little by little. Like mini Chinese opening changed to the micro Chinese opening, and lower Chinese opening changed to the high Chinese opening. And 1-3-5 opening changed in this way. So it will change in that way, but yes, something like that. Black hole opening. If Lee Sedol takes that black hole opening and win many of titles, or many like new player, like 15 years old boy came with black hole opening and win all games, then the paradigm will be changed. But the first, what we should remember with this history of Fuseki, that Dosaku is the person who put the concept of opening. Before him, it was just putting the stone under the third line and share the territory and fight. But he made this concept, make the formation, and let opponent comes in to fight. Okay. That is what you should remember. And Goseigen made the fourth line. He made this fourth line move, star point, as equal move as the 3-4 point. And then after that, Chinese opening, Kobayashi opening, 3-star formation, Sanrensei, and then mini Chinese opening, 2-star formation, and many others. That Kuris opening, or the micro Chinese opening and this one up to here. But nowadays, professional players, they study together. So I don't think that the new opening formation will come from only one person. It will be difficult. It will come from like Japan or China or Korea or maybe Europe, like this, because they started studying together. It is good thing, in fact, for Go, because Go developed a lot after they studied together. The reason why the Goseigen made this, could have made the new Fuseki, is because he studied together with another strong player, Kitani. So if they don't study together, then it is difficult to play a good game yourself. Even though you're 9-dan professional player, how can you play good game yourself? You need to have one another person who respond your idea. Is it? So that is the reason. Nowadays, not only two, like 10, 15 players, strong players, top players, they study together. That's why patterns or opening formations, everything developed a lot in last 10 years. So that's why I'm sure that this will develop, and the new style of Fuseki could come, but for long time, I think the professional players, they change from the old patterns, based on old patterns, but change with the new and modern theory. Okay, so like that, we studied the history of Fuseki. I hope it was an interesting lecture. And after you got to know the Fuseki, you got to know the meaning of this Fuseki more. So I hope you get interested in this old or new Fusekis, and hope you play this in your real games. Okay, thank you for coming today. It was I think it is the cultural lecture. So if you like this type of lecture, then I will prepare another this cultural lecture in each season. Okay. Thank you for coming today, and from tomorrow we will have the second round. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.